No problem.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Cassidy, the CEO for the Greater Orlando Builders Association. We're going to go ahead and wait just a couple more minutes to make sure that we have the majority of the expected attendees on today's webinar. We are expecting well over 400 attendees to join us, and so I'm monitoring the attendees right now, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, I think we have the majority of attendees today's webinar. I first want to welcome everybody to the Greater Orlando Builders Association webinar. And today's focus is the latest on our Tri-County building departments regarding COVID-19 and procedures for the home building industry specifically. I first want to let everybody know that I hope everybody's safe and everybody is well during this time. Our thoughts are with all of us and all of you, and that is first and foremost the safety of everybody, and hopefully everybody's adhering to the Orange County and Osceola County stay-at-home orders, and we continue to monitor those items as they come available to us. If there's some information that I want to be able to reach to you today, is that GOBA is closely monitoring the COVID-19, how it relates to our community, how it relates to our members. And we have a resource page available at greaterorlandoba.com. And that is all the questions and answers that we know of today in regards to the home building industry, as well as businesses, as well as job site safety, DBPR notices and guidelines. So please visit greaterorlandoba.com for a list of links on how to prepare your family and your business in life as we know it today and currently. Also, GOBA has a way to reach our membership. We do have a text message service available for alerts, which is more important now than ever. If you register to receive our text messages as we get these emergency notices, we can then send it out to you to notify you. If you text the word GOBA to the phone number 407-537-5536, you can stay in the know as we navigate through this situation. Today, you're going to hear the latest operations and productions from the home building industry during the stay-at-home orders and the CDC issued guidelines from the Tri-County municipalities. I'm sure you're aware these issues and these things we're going to talk about today are changing rapidly. And so this is today as we know it, and we'll continue to monitor again at greaterorlandoba.com. Following the webinar, we'll have a link to this recorded webinar, so you can please find it at that same website. Throughout the presentation, there is a Q&A box. There's a toolbar at the bottom. You can submit your questions through those Q&A. As you can imagine, we have over 400 attendees today. We probably will not get through your questions, but we're going to try. At this point, I would like to introduce to you today's panelists. They will be speaking each for 5 minutes on updates to procedures within their department. And then from there, once all the speakers are completed speaking, we will open it up for the Q&A for 10, 15, possibly 20 minutes. So again, we're going to do our best. One of our speakers today, I'm just going to go through all the list first before we open it up to them. We have Shane Gerwig, Orange County Chief Building Official, Bob Pike, Seminole County Chief Building Official, Bill Grimes, Osceola County Chief Building Official, Stephen Whitmore, Osceola County Deputy Building Official, Roy Eden, City of Orlando Chief Building Official, Eric Krisky, City of Orlando Permitting Services Assistant Division Manager, Juan Hernandez, City of Kissimmee Chief Building Official, and George Wiggins, City of Winter Park Director of Building Legislative Affairs. At this time, I would like my panelists to please mute their phone, except for Shane Gerwig. Shane, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chastity. Again, Shane Gerwig, Orange County Division Building Safety. Chastity and all the folks over at GOB, I really appreciate you having us on today and everything to share this information with the group. You know, there's a couple things that I would like to go over briefly and everything like that right there based on some of the guidance. So I want to first talk about some of the things that's changed here in Orange County related to the response to the virus. First off is as of this past Friday, Orange County Administration buildings now closed to the public. So there, we're no longer accepting any customers in for visitors, for lobby or anything like that there. However, there is a box up front, and I'll get to the rest of this here in a little bit. There's a box up front if you want to provide to give us some documents or anything like that there that we'll be able to pick up. So I want to talk, the best way to get the permits with Orange County is we're now limited to utilizing the fast track online services with electronic permit submittal for new projects. So any with that right there, and if you can go to our website and everything, if you've never done that before, you can go to our website and be able to see how to do that by walking through with the tutorial. However, for corrections and the revisions can still be dropped off for existing projects only. Another thing as well too is sub permits have to be applied for and issued online. So what happens is all the whole sub permitting process is now online. We no longer accept drop off or paper submittals during the event of the virus. If you ever have any questions for that right there, you can go to fasttrack.ocfl.net. Again, that's fasttrack with 2 T's in the middle, .ocfl.net. And to just to kind of repeat something I always go over, the quickest and safest way to get a permit in Orange County is by utilizing our fast track online permitting services with our electronic plan submittal. So talk about some of the overall functionality at this point and everything. We want to talk about how we're doing. Right now, we are still functioning as fairly normal with regular activity. All inspection sections, including chiefs and deputy chiefs, are now working remotely, along with some of our plans examiners and permit analysts. However, we've been able to keep up with the demand for the industry and everything, even while we're working remotely. Our regular turnaround permitting processing times are just as good as what they were before the virus, and we intend to be able to keep it that way through some of the things we've taken into account. We've had a slight decline over the last couple of weeks regarding permit submissions and everything, and then we're starting to see a little bit of a decline in activity from inspections as well. However, but please keep in mind, Orange County Division Building Safety is ready to support the industry, and we have all the resources we need in order to make sure that we're able to keep up and maintain the expectations. So now I'll kind of go on to the order that Mayor Demings had issued there last week that became effective this past Thursday at 11 p.m. Within the order it listed several essential businesses. Within those essential businesses that are exempt this order, the stay-at-home order, is licensed contractors and other tradesmen, appliance repair, exterminator, services that are necessary to maintain safety, sanitation, and essential operation of residences and other structures, property maintenance, construction sites, irrespective of the type of building development, design professionals, and then any of the support in order to support some of the exempt industries. And of course, naturally, the order doesn't apply to government employees. So whenever Mayor Denning issued this order related to the non-essential travel and safety measures and non-essential businesses and essential businesses, he made sure that the construction industry and everything's still moving forward. So regarding construction industry, the construction industry is exempt from the stay-at-home order, and also to Orange County Division of Building Safety has all the resources necessary in order to support the industry and to keep everything going to make sure that construction stays on track within Orange County. Another thing is we want to talk about a couple different protocols for inspection related issues. We now have a procedure in place for occupied homes for our inspectors. Now this just as it pertains to occupied homes. Whenever our inspector comes up to occupied homes, we're going to hand the occupant a piece of paper, and it's going to have several questions on it, similar to some of the other things we've seen before. It says a fever greater than 100 degrees, sore throat, cough or difficulty breathing, recent flu or pneumonia, possible exposure of COVID-19. We want to know as far as if you've traveled outside the United States or been on a cruise ship recently, and then also if you've had contact with anybody that's surrounding the COVID-19 virus. So basically some yes, no questions. So, and if any of the occupants happen to check yes to this, we're going to hand them another form that kind of goes over to let them know that the inspection can be completed at a later date. So with this later date, we're going to automatically extend the permit activity or permit by 6 months to be that way. Whenever all of this subsides, we're able to get back in to handle the inspection. However, this is for occupied dwellings only. This has nothing to do with new constructions or alterations or anything that is unoccupied. With that right there, it's business as usual. For other jobs that we're on, we would just ask that you adhere to the social distancing guidelines whenever dealing with our inspectors. You know, as far as stay 6 foot away and everything like that, right there, so our inspectors can perform their duties. We're committed to making sure that our folks will be there to support the construction industry throughout this issue. However, we would ask you that you just kind of stay back away from our inspectors about 6 foot, give them the room that they need in order to perform their inspection and to do their job. That way they can stay healthy and everything like that, so we can continue to support you. And also too, is that way your staff and your builders and your folks that's there on the job site can stay healthy as well. So we want to make sure we do that. You know, I want to kind of give, D.R. Horton some credit here and everything like that. And there may be other folks that might be doing this. I know that had messages back and forth with some folks at Interstruct, and they're looking at implementing something similar. Basically what happened with D.R. Horton is doing is they're requesting all their trade partners and everybody that comes in during this to actually exit the home and everything while our inspector is able to get in and do their jobs. That way the inspector is able to come into the house, perform the service. You know, typically it takes 5, 10, 15 minutes depending on the inspections. So that way they can go in and they can actually go in and perform the inspection and everything like that right there safely and go forward. Now, we're not mandating that by any account. However, we thought it was a good idea, and if builders wanted to implement something similar right there, it might be beneficial to the overall industry, because keep in mind, our inspectors may perform 20 inspections a day, 20 different job sites. So that's a lot of exposure on our inspectors and as well as your own staff. So with that, again, we're happy to definitely do whatever we need to do to support the industry. If you have any questions regarding Orange County's approach to the coronavirus, if you go to Orange County's website, and then there'll be a link to our coronavirus website. And from that website, you can also get information related to specific development activity and things going on. So Chastity, I know it took a little bit longer than my time, but I definitely do appreciate y'all having us, and we're happy to answer any questions. Thanks so much.
And thank you, Shane. And I am now seeing the importance of the 5 to 10 minute discussion from all of our panelists. So please, all the information you have, our membership and others that are on the line with us today during this webinar would love to hear it. So take your time, and it's all valuable information. We are receiving your questions. I'm acknowledging those that are coming in, and so we're going to hold those to the end of the webinar, so just hang tight for us. Next, Bob Pike, Seminole County Chief Building Official. You have 5-10 minutes if you can update us, please.
Thank you, Chastity, for having us. We're more than pleased to be part of this. We're a big partner in the community, and obviously we've instituted things to be customer service towards our residents of occupied structures, as well as keeping our staff safe and our inspection teams safe. Our lobby has been closed for over a week. We do take owner builder permits by appointment. So you call in, we'll be able to make an appointment and be able to escort you in, because owner builders, have to personally appear to do the affidavit. So we made that easy for them. And if they have an issue with coming in the building, we will go out to their vehicle and work with them in that fashion as well. But all our permits by contractors are all done electronically. They've been doing them electronically for a long time. We also have our easy permits and our fast track permits. So those are great tools for contractors to use, and we have a pretty good system. And as far as the feedback, we've had real good feedback on our system, and it works well. And we're very customer service oriented. We'll be able to handle any questions. We give you free training on that monthly, as far as being able to see how that's done online. As far as inspections, we've made some adjustments on existing buildings. On certain inspections that we very rarely have issues with, like for AC changeouts, repipes, water heaters, like for like changeouts, windows and doors, garage doors, things of that sort. We will accept a signed affidavit from the contractor of record when we go there to do a final inspection. The permit package will be outside, and as long as it's completed, our own affidavit we have on our website, we will look at that. If it's done by the contractor of record stating he's gone and done his inspection, everything meets the Florida Building Code, and he signs it, and it's done with notarization, then we will accept that and not go in the building. If owners of those types still have an issue, we do give options. Most of our inspectors have a FaceTime option on their iPhone, and they can work that out with the contractor or owner for them to be able to walk around and do that. And the inspector can see that, and if he feels comfortable with it, then he will be able to accept that. Also, we do give an option of a third-party design professional if he would like to provide us a document that he's been there, inspected it, meets the code, and accepts full responsibility for it. We accept that as an option as well. So these are some of the things that we've done to try to keep our staff safe. We do ask the questions before we have to go in any building. If the inspector feels uncomfortable, he does not have to enter. He can work that out with the contractor or the owner. We can also, like Shane was saying, that we can do the inspection at a later time. That's not going to be an issue. We are currently doing pretty much the same amount. I haven't seen the inspections drop down hardly at all, or our permits. So that's a kind of a good sign that we're still staying busy. But obviously, you know, things occur. This is a rapidly changing thing, and who knows? We may all be on a shutdown for too long here, but hopefully that we'll get through this. And any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer anybody's questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Bob, for that information. And again, we are continuing to see your questions come in. If they are specifically for one municipality, please identify that in your questions so we know who to go to for the question once we answer the webinar. Up next, we'll ask Mr. Bill Grimes, Osceola County Chief Building Official, to please present information.
Good afternoon, Chastity. Our county offices are currently closed to the public and employees are being screened before entering the building. We have installed a drop box in front of our building for proper paper submittals and payments. Half of our staff have been moved to remote work locations, while half of our other staff is still working within the administration building. We are on a 2-week rotation for this process. We are continuously encouraging the use of our online permitting system for submittals, scheduling inspections, and electronic payments. Our county mailboxes are monitored during all business hours by office staff and work from home staff alike. Any questions that anyone has that they need addressed, they can send an email to buildingmailbox@osceola.org or permitting@osceola.org, and we will delegate these emails to the proper or appropriate department if needed. Osceola plans reviewers are working both in office and remotely. We are currently at 5 days review time for residential permits and 15 days for commercial jobs. This time frame begins when all the paperwork has been uploaded and routed for review. Our plan review and inspection turnaround times have not changed in the last 3 months. All inspectors are working out in the field and are being asked to keep visits to the office as minimal as possible. We are currently keeping up with inspections and have not had to roll any inspections. We have Skype and FaceTime inspections. They're approved for water heater changeouts, AC changeouts, window and doors, and we are not doing any inspections that are owner occupied at this time. But we will also extend the permit automatically for 6 months if this coronavirus causes somebody to have an expired permit. Okay, then the questions that Ricardo sent us, any service or procedural changes occurring, just those already mentioned, where the lobby's closed, is you're currently under a stay-home work order. We are under a stay-at-home order. However, construction was exempt as it's classified as a vital function. And it also includes our other departments like zoning, engineering. They're also working full-time right now. Okay, if your county is not under a stay-at-home order, can you let tenants know if there will be any changes that will occur? This is an A. Then the last one, is there anything you want our builders to do for you at the inspection site? And be ready for the inspections. Social distance. Social distance is also very vital, important for the contractors and the inspectors, and that's what we're looking for. Lastly, if an individual is unable to reach our county staff during all business hours, please feel free to call me. And I'll give you my cell number, 407-908-1259. I will take your text or take your voicemail, and I'll forward it to the right department to see if we can help you. Okay, and then there's one more thing, Chastity, I wanted to add. Steve Whitmore has also been promoted. He is now the Osceola County Building Director. So he's my boss, okay? And that's all I have. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you, Bill, for that information. And I do believe Stephen Whitmore is also with us on the webinar, and I'll turn it over to him for some additional comments.
Okay. I have Steve on the phone. He couldn't get him. Let's see, Steve, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Okay.
Yes, thank you. I don't have anything to add other than what Bill said, unless there's some questions at the end.
All right, well, thank you for that. And our next speaker is, we will turn to Roy Eden, City of Orlando, Chief Building Official. Roy?
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you, Chastity, and thank you, the members, GOBA, and all those that are out there listening today. I just would like to first let you know that in response to Governor DeSantis' state of emergency declaration, that permitting services is extending the expiration dates of all of our building and trade permits for 6 months. This is a automatic renewal process that we provide for our customers. It does not require any customers to take any action at all. That's implemented, and we are, our city inspectors are continuing to perform inspections. We're averaging approximately 400 to 500 a day. So that's a good sign of healthy activity. Inspections for occupied residents. We are working with our customers and doing what measures that we need to do to provide customer service by conducting inspections in a safe manner, providing if we need video or if the inspectors, I leave it up to the inspector's discretion if they want to use photographs. Constant communication with our inspection team has raised, and it's helping quite a bit. The permit applications continue to be processed every day. We're still reviewing plans issued digitally by our staff. While the office is closed for walk-ins currently, all services are available online at orlando.gov/permits. Customers who have questions are encouraged to email digitalpermits@orlando.gov. Or you can send an email to any of the staff members. We all are working remotely, and we have all the digital components and resources necessary to continue the excellent customer service that we provide. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact any of the permitting services managers. I'd also like to let people know that today at 4:30 p.m. at the Orange County Administration Building, Mayor Dyers will join Orange County Mayor Demings and officials for the Orange County and Florida Department of Health in Orange County for updates on Central Florida's response related to the threats of COVID-19. The City of Orlando will be sharing that press conference live on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/City of Orlando. And I believe that Orange County will also be providing other means of methods for live streaming from their website. Right now, I think we're doing a pretty good job in this environment that we all got pushed into. I think a lot of the technology that we have available on our website at orlando.gov is very helpful. The fact, I think at the end of the day, when we realize that all of us are in this together and we work for positive communications, I believe that something good is always going to come. We may not understand right now why, but something good will come of this. And I am so glad that the City of Orlando has taken the time, energy, effort, and dollars to put into the modern technology that we have available to us today, to be able to have these conversations like we're having right now. And all the video conferencing that we're maintaining. We're able to we've been utilizing program Teams with from Microsoft. We're able to have video conferencing, live chats. So our meetings on pertinent projects, we're able to share documents and have a healthy construction environment to move these projects forward and to continue the process. So it is not slowing down. I think it's actually picked up a bit due to modern technology and utilizing the new tools that we have at our disposal. So I would like to thank everyone for all the help and support. And when you have any questions or concerns related to our process, how we're handling inspections, I find that the inspection process, what we're doing now is we're trying to ensure safety, following the governor's orders for social distancing. And we ask that your projects are providing the same. We're maintaining sanitary supplies for our vehicles and our staff, and we like to see that you have a clean job site for our inspectors and your team members. Hopefully that you can provide stations for hand sanitizers and taking the necessary precaution, having potential receptacles that you can throw sanitizers away, keep this thing contained the best that we can. You know, I don't think I've washed my hands this many times in a day that it's just as amazing. But keeping the job sites clean and keeping a healthy environment is key to our success through this COVID-19 pandemic. And we ask that you follow the rules, and we will do the same. So if there's any further questions regarding this matter, I'll be here to answer those questions and look forward to answering those questions. Thank you.
And thank you, Roy, for that. Some of you may have noticed that your questions are being populated through the chat. And so far, I know Stephen Whitmore of Osceola County Building Director has replied regarding online NOC recording processes are a go for Osceola County. They do that. And I know Shane is also responding that business is as usual, no delays for inspections. So again, we'll continue to look for more questions at the end of the program here. With that, I'm going to ask Mr. Juan Hernandez, City of Kissimmee Chief Building Official, to now have your turn for 5 to 10 minutes. Please update us.
Good afternoon. Well, the City of Kissimmee is, as most of the other departments, closed to the public. We are currently working, part of our staff is working remotely, part of our staff is working on shifts. I myself am here most of the time, but we are trying to keep everything as normal as possible with this situation as it is. Our plan review is continuing. We are trying to do it as electronically as possible. Everything can come in through email. We have a number for any questions, which is 407-518-2379 or permitting@kissimmee.org. Our ladies that are taking the questions and answering them from online forward to me whatever they can. They're processing applications. We have a Dropbox, electronic Dropbox for larger permits. We are continuing, my plan reviewers are continuing to do that within their current time frame, working mostly from home. The inspection staff is still working. We have instructions for them if they are not comfortable with an inspection. They are to speak to the contractor. It can be postponed. We are currently trying to keep our staff as safe as possible while providing the customers with as much as we can. Homeowners are dealt with on a case-to-case basis. As they see our doors are closed, our number is on the door, and they've called us. what we do is we try to, those who have the electronic can submit through that, and those that do not, we will deal with on a case-to-case basis. There's not much else that I can say. We're doing the best we can in these times, hoping that everyone else, as us, can stay functioning and as current as possible. That's it.
Thank you, Juan. We couldn't agree more for the job site safety of everyone on those job sites. So please adhere to those rules and the 6 feet apart distance and maintaining no more than 10 people on a job site. With that, I'm going to ask our last speaker to give us a 5-10 minute update on their department, and that's George Wiggins, City of Winter Park, Director of Building and Legislative Affairs. George?
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. George Wiggins, Winter Park. We are operating at full capacity in the City of Winter Park. City Hall is closed to non-employees. We have permitting staff that are observing safe distances in separate offices, and plan review staff also doing the same to follow through with all inspection requests. We have a completely electronic process underway to receive new permits and plans electronically and process them, return comments, returning plan revision comments all electronically, as well as all to the point of issuing the permit and making payment electronically. Our inspectors are also fully engaged in their inspections. And as many other departments have experienced, we are as busy or busier than ever with many of our contractors, as you may well know, to move forward with all their jobs under the exemption under the mayor's order. With regard to ways to contact us, you can still easily contact us by email, by phone calls. If you go to our website, citywinterpark.org, and into our building services department, you'll see a complete listing of every person and their phone number. You can call anybody and everybody, and if you get a message, it'll show up on our laptops or phones, and we'll return to the greatest extent possible. I think all of our inspectors all have numbers, mobile numbers, they can be reached as well. So we try to make it optimum customer service. With regard to inspecting occupied homes, we don't have the exact same procedure as Shane in Orange County, but we advise our inspectors, not to go inside unless they're invited by the homeowner or renter, and that there's a safe distance kept, and observing all of the requirements to be as safe as possible. We continue with all of our preliminary plan reviews online, which we encourage strongly to review, both for building and zoning review. We have a lot of active realtors and developers that are still contacting us with regard to development or redevelopment. Of course, as you know, Winter Park is 99% built out, so practically everything that takes place, except for in the big Ravidage development at the northwest corner of Lee Road and Orlando Avenue, where there's some hotels and apartments being built, all of which has kept us at a peak capacity for inspections every single day. We do process notice of commencements in the City of Winter Park, and even if you're not in the City of Winter Park, you can obtain a notice of commencement through an electronic process that we participate with the county. Those are some of the highlights, and there are some of us, like myself and my assistant, is operating remotely, although we'll probably be going into the city from time to time to look at specific sites. And our goal is to provide optimum services while providing, making sure that our construction is done in code compliant means. All of our sub permits are issued with the main building permit all at the same time. That's a process that we instigated over a year ago now, so that that's taken care of at once. With that, I will open myself to any questions. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for that. I also want to let everyone on the webinar know that we have Thomas Dalton has joined us through the chat of the webinar. He is the building official for the city of Altamont Springs, and his message in the chat says that their office is currently closed to the public. They're performing inspections, as he previously noted, I believe, in the chat, and plan reviews is also being performed as normal. And they have a drop box outside of the front office. So that's a little bit of information for Altamont Springs. I want to thank all of our panelists for joining us today. And at this point, I'm going to open it up for some Q&A. I've been monitoring the Q&As, and I believe a lot of the questions, Shane, I'm going to specifically go to you on this, is the Simply File. A lot of people have questions regarding the NOCs through that portal. Can you chime in on that for us a little bit?
Yeah, sure, Chastity, I'd be happy to. Anyways, we typically don't process the NOCs processed through Simple File. However, we can still process them for you, and then we can still get everything coordinated with the comptroller's office as far as that's concerned. So we're still able to process NOCs for you as long as you email them into our NOC folks.
Okay, and I believe that question was also addressed to City of Orlando. Roy, do you have a response to that? Okay, we'll move on to Osceola. Bill Grimes or Stephen Whitmore, do you have a response?
Go ahead, Steve, if you're there.
Sure. As I said in the text exchange, we do have that surface available online. The building department does not handle it. You'll have to check with the reporting office, but they did confirm that they have an online process and they have employees, just like the building department, that are working both at the courthouse and at home doing this.
Okay, and then can I say one more thing, Chastity? Anybody that's having issues doing online to submit the NOCs, just submit an email to buildingmailbox@osceola.org, and we can submit them the information that was submitted to us from the recording department last week. So that'll help them a little bit. Okay.
Thank you.
Chastity, this is Roy Eden.
Yes,
Can you repeat that question, please?
it's regarding on the chats, a lot of questions regarding the Simply File NOCs.
Okay, we are still
Hold on, I'm trying to pull
processing.
it back up. And if they were,
Is it in the chat line? Okay, we are still processing the NOCs, and we're able to accept those digitally. They can email our digital permits at orlando.gov.
okay, thank you. Okay, so another question that's coming up is the, I guess, the suspension of permit fees, and if anybody is suspending those fees. And I'm just going to go directly down the line if you want to just answer in regards to that question. Shane Gerwig, are you suspending permit fees?
No, Chastity, at this time, we're not suspending permit fees. We don't have a process right now to suspend permit fees. However, kind of back to the 6-month extension process, we're not granting 6 months extensions on all permits. That's only going to be dealing with the properties where we can't get in, the occupied dwellings and stuff. So, and there might be some other alternatives for permit extensions through certain executive orders and stuff like that right there that's already provided. However, but back to the original question, no, we won't be submitting, or we will not be submitting permit fees at this time.
Bob Pike?
Yes, we are not currently doing anything with permit fees yet. We're waiting to see how this thing evolves. We have not any direction yet from our commission as far as fee adjustments or things of that sort. Also, we're going to honor the governor's request. We have to as far as extending permits. We understand what's going on, but currently we are charging permit fees currently. But I did want to talk about NOCs. We accept those electronically. We also can receive the recorded ones, which have to be in our office by the second inspection, via email or fax to our office. Our office is still working. We're working on split shifts, remote. So half our staff we swap out on a weekly basis. And so if one gets infected, it's not going to affect the entire staff. So we're doing the split shifting, and everything is business as usual currently at this point in time.
Thank you. This is going to go to Orange County. Question: impact fee credit letters have required hard copies. Can they now be scanned? And if so, where did they send those to? Shane?
Jesse, I'm going to have somebody to take a look at that one for you. I'm not, and with the Division of Building Safety isn't directly involved with the impact fee letter, credit letters. I am, somebody's researching that for me. So hopefully before the end of the webinar,
Okay.
we'll be.
And they can reach out to GOBA possibly for an answer to that question, and we will gather that.
Most
for-
definitely, I can certainly do that.
Sure. Okay, for Seminole County, I have a question. Even though they can be requested via email, COs in Seminole County have original signatures from CBO. Are these now going to be processed in a more automated way? If so, can we expect the turnaround times to issue a CO shorten? Bob?
The answer to that question is it's business as usual. We're still getting those requests. And if I am working remotely, which I am currently this week, I give authorization to use my stamp for those COs, so there's not going to be any delay in those. So we're staying on top of things.
Okay, great. Shane, I have a question for you. Are you considering virtual inspections?
Thanks, Jesse. The naysayers came up over the last while and everything. We are definitely considering virtual inspections, and we are looking into a lot of different options. However, there are some technology limitations there. However, for occupied dwellings, on a limited way of doing it, we can possibly use the video function on our inspector's cell phones. However, there are some technical limitations there as well. But to answer your question, we are looking into it. However, we're definitely hitting some challenges whenever it comes to technical resources. So at this point, we're not doing across the board.
Okay. All right, and I think Shane answered the question that was just populated. I got several of those about TUG agreements, and they can be submitted electronically. So thank you for that clarification. I'm going to scroll through to kind of look for additional questions here. Like I said, we cannot get to all of them, but we are going to try. And I believe you answered this one, Shane, but correct me if I'm wrong. Orange County automatically extending building permits 6 months, as the city of Orlando is doing. Does this also apply to commercial permits?
Very good. This, as far as the permit extension, we're not doing it across the board with all permits. This is going to be typically for occupied buildings and structures. So if the commercial building is occupied and we're unable to gain access based on the questionnaire, then yes, we would be extending that permit by the 6 months. However, it's not a blanket extension. Our inspector will put a result into the computer that would identify the need to extend this one because we wasn't able to gain access to the property due to the coronavirus.
And Chastity, this is Bill Grimes. Could I say something also and add to that a little bit what Shane was saying?
Please do.
I had, when I talked about that we weren't doing any inspections for owner occupied dwellings, I really meant inspections that we have to go inside. If we're outside doing pools, the inspector isn't going to be near the homeowner. We're okay with that. We're going to be the same way as what Shane was saying. If it's an inspection that needs us to go inside, we cannot do it, then we're going to be extending that one. There's not going to be any question about that. Okay?
Thank you. Would anybody else like to respond to that question? Okay, we are nearing the 1 hour mark of the meeting. At this time, I believe I'm going to turn it over to each building official for closing remarks as they saw some of the questions that were coming in, and maybe I missed one particularly that they would like to respond to, or if they have any additional comments that kind of throughout this webinar. And I'm going to go right back down the line. Shane, do you have any final comments for us?
I do. Thank you, Chastity. Again, I really appreciate you giving us, Division Building Safety, the opportunity to participate in your webinar today. Hopefully the information is valuable to all your members and everything. So I definitely do appreciate it. And there's two real points I want to be able to drive home is that first off, as always, the fastest and safest way to obtain a building permit in the county is by using our Fast Track online portal and also using electronic plan submittal. The next thing I also want to add as well too is Orange County Division Building Safety is well equipped. We're very prepared in order to help and support the construction industry as we go through this entire situation. Our full staff of inspectors, plans examiners, permit analysts are ready to assist. We'll be able to do anything necessary, and we're ready to walk right through this with the entire construction industry, as well as we also appreciate being able to be involved with this group. So again, I appreciate everybody's time today, and if there's anything I can help out in the future, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thanks so much.
We appreciate working with you, Shane. Bob Pike, any final remarks from you?
Yeah, Chastity, thank you so much for having us. We're a big partner in our community, and this coronavirus is something that is unforeseen, that everybody's having to deal with, and things are rapidly changing. And, you know, we are still providing excellent customer service. We're still providing plan reviews. Half of our plan review staff is working remotely and able to do those electronically. All our contractors submit electronically. We encourage everybody to send communication electronically. We do answer the phones with a half a staff, so we're split shifting. But we're all available, either email, phone calls, electronics, submittals, electronic requests, faxes, emails. So we do provide owner builder appointments to come in one at a time. So I think we've covered about every avenue. The inspectors, that is our main concern, protecting our inspectors from existing buildings. So we've tried to keep them out of there as much as possible. We do the FaceTime inspection. If the inspector has it on his phone, we're working on getting all of them that ability. There are several that do not have that currently, but we're working on getting them that so they can work that out with the contractor or owner to do a FaceTime video for those types of inspections. And we will come back at a later date if the owner is uncomfortable or if my inspector is uncomfortable based on the situation. And we were not going to penalize the permit holder in that fashion. for these ones that affect these existing buildings, we will work on extending their permits. That's not going to be an issue. We understand that Seminole County has the making sure that everybody has their safe distancing currently. So our businesses are open currently, and just our lobbies are closed at the county services building for the public to come in. But we do encourage everybody to communicate electronically, and so either that or by phone. So other than that, we have done, I think we've done a remarkable job in trying to protect our staff. We've given hand wipes and clean hand sanitizers to our inspectors. They know the requirements of safe distancing for the inspections. We appreciate the contractors working with us in that fashion. As Roy was saying earlier, it's important that the job site is ready for us. Please have your inspection ready for us before you call it in, and make sure that we have the ability to do safe inspections with having the proper distance from other people on the job. So a lot of that's coordination. You can contact our inspectors. If you call in the morning of the inspection between 7 and 8 o'clock, our inspectors will give you a 2-hour estimated time of arrival, and you can communicate with them on what the situation is on your job site. We're always customer service minded, and we will try to work with you as best as possible, or we can reschedule the inspection. But thank you again, and we're more than happy to answer any of your questions. Feel free to contact me if you have any of those, or our inspection or plan review staff, or our excellent office staff. We are here. We're part of the team, and we'll all get through this. We appreciate you. Thank you for having us.
And thank you, Bob. Thank you for your time today and for always working with GoBen on our needs. Bill Grimes with Osceola County, do you have any final words for us?
Yeah, just had two quick things. One of the things was the fee reductions. That'll be commissioner approval. I haven't heard anything about it yet, but that could come up in the near future. The other thing is, somebody asked a good question. Can we do Skype for pool alarms? I do not have an answer for that yet. It's something that we're going to have to look at in here. We could be dealing with homeowners that are staying home, and we don't want to jeopardize where we to be too close to a homeowner. So that's something we'll look into the office and see what we're going to do in the future. That may be one that we do a Skype or FaceTime with in the future. But this was a great meeting today, and I appreciate you inviting me.
And we always appreciate you working with us. So thank you. And I know all of our GoBen members are appreciative for the things you do. Roy Eden, City of Orlando, any final comments or answers to any of the questions?
Yes, I was looking through these questions, and I think this collaboration is fantastic. We're going to be seeing a lot more of this type of activity. A lot of questions regarding the video type of inspections, and I foresee that to be a thing of the present and future. We are pursuing that. There's questions, is it going to go into other departments for other types of inspections, such as our zoning and engineering type inspections as well. Everything is on the table at this point. We all are working together to try to make the best of this, to keep our economy healthy, to keep the growth of this city growing. And so that is obviously is on the table. So I can't guarantee that that's at this time, but that is an avenue that we've been pursuing. We've been testing the system, and we'll be rolling that out, and you'll know as soon as that happens. I had an unusual question I saw regarding, someone asked the question regarding foregoing new starts and for restaurants and things of that nature. And I don't see that to be a potential at all, I would consider pursuing every project that we can pursue to make the development community grow. So I think that if we all stick together and look at this as a positive takeaway, that we are able to communicate online with up to, what do we got, up to 500 people right now, and be able to, we'll answer these questions and hopefully we'll come out stronger and better. So everything happens for a reason, and I believe the reason is to help us make this world a better place. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, GOBA, and everyone listening.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for those positive words and for your support as well to GOBA and all of our members, Roy. Juan Hernandez, do you have any final comments or any answers specifically to some of the questions for us that we did not get to?
Well, final comments. Very appreciative of being included in this. This has been informative, hopefully not only to those who are paying attention, but also to myself, what the other municipalities are doing. I do want to reiterate that this is a fluid situation. Procedures will continue to change, try to improve. But for the city of Kissimmee, again, our numbers, 407-518-2379 or permitting@kissimmee.org. Our ladies are working hard, answering questions, picking up the phone. Any questions come to me, they send them, and we'll do our best to help the public and continue going forward.
And thank you so much for your time today, Juan. Really appreciate that. Speaking on your processes. George Wiggins, I look to you now, and you are the final speaker for today. And do you have any updates or any comments or answers to those questions?
Okay, I'm back here. One final comment is that the number one issue that happens so often when a builder gets near the end of a job is, what must I do to get my CO? We have a procedure, we have it online, and as so many other building departments have found, especially in the commercial area, we usually end up issuing a TCO, temporary CO, for many buildings. I would just advise that builders and developers closely track those TCOs so all the way to completion so that we can actually release the CO. In our department, I'm sure many other departments as well, we help facilitate the entire process for the inspection of the building for other departments as well, although those departments and divisions that have specific inspections must be called as well throughout the process of the construction project. However, we do not do the final building inspection until every single department or division has signed off. So just want to make everybody aware of that. I'm sure all the other departments face the same issue. We are very flexible with working with people where we can, when there's non-safety items that are undone, or parts are on order, or fixtures are on order that would allow us to issue a TCO. We try to do everything within our power to work with people, especially during these difficult times that we're operating in right now. And I wish the best to everybody out there, builders and developers and all the other building departments. Thank you.
Okay, and with that, that's going to wrap up today's webinar. I want to please remind everybody to adhere to the job site safety of no more than 10 people to your job site and remaining 6 feet apart from those that are on the job site. Safety of our members, safety of the building officials and their employees is of importance here. Please visit greaterorlandoba.com. We are your resource for the building industry. Please navigate through the website on the alerts and other information that is being distributed for the state of Florida and primarily for our Tri-County area of Orange, Seminole, and Osceola County. With that, thank you panelists for your time today, your support to our industry, and to all the members and those that are not members of GOBA on today's webinar. We wish you well, hang in there. We are here for you. Please contact us if you need anything at all. And we will come out of this on top. And if there's anything we can do, again, please reach out. Have a great rest of the day.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
Thanks, Chastity.
Thank you.
Thank you.